wrong that you didn't do well in your A levels?
I think I started focusing more on the guitar and started writing songs.
Where did you learn your guitar lessons from?
From the internet.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And then, how did you like become?
And this was like before there was YouTube and stuff.
So why did you want to go into LUMS? Why particularly now medicine? Why not engineering, the typical fields in Pakistan?
I thought about going. I never wanted to be a doctor. Engineering was too boring and dry.
Okay.
And so the obvious choice was to do something like economics or something.
And was LUMS your first choice?
Yeah.
And you got in?
Why? Are you shocked?
No, I was wondering because you weren't good in A levels. So how did you manage?
I wasn't that bad either.
Oh, so you're an average student. How were your extracurricular activities? Like, were you involved in co-curricular activities?
I used to play a lot of cricket and stuff.
Were you a batsman?
No,
A bowler. A left arm, right arm?
right arm. But I bat left hand.
Oh, that's interesting. So tell us something about your LUMS life, because I've heard that during the first 3 years you did not release any songs or anything, and during the final year when you were about to leave LUMS, that's when Bachana came out.
Yeah.
And that's when you sparked the entire entertainment world. And that's where you just went from zero to a hero.
Well, for the first 3 years I was sort of writing songs and was too focused to, I was too focused on songwriting to like really focus on the marketing aspect of it. But by last year I was sort of like, okay, so this is my last year and I need to do something and I need to put out a song. And so I just recorded Bachana at home and put it out.
Did you get your support from your parents as well? Or were they like not interested in your Bachana and all your recording into guitars and all that stuff? Because it was totally different from what you were
See, they
doing.
never stopped me, but they never said anything like, "Ye karna chahiye" or "Yeah, ye nahi karna chahiye."
And what
I
exactly?
never asked them. I was just doing it on the side. So.
That's good. And how were your grades during LUMS? Like, did you go through a steady phase or did you like drop in between somewhere because of all your curriculum?
I didn't drop out of LUMS.
Yeah, but did you have like a
Yeah.
trough in between somewhere?
Yeah, because I was sort of very focused on the songwriting as opposed the other students were more focused on the grades and jobs and stuff.
Exactly.
But I was more interested in writing songs and how do I make these songs as great as I can.
And what was your main inspiration for writing these songs? I mean, it just doesn't come up to you. Like, did you have like an inspiration role model?
Yeah.
Who was your role model?
It would have to be John Mayer.
Right. And did you ever think that you would land amongst the stars? I mean, did you ever think that, or did you think of yourself
I never
as
wanted
just
to
another
be.
guy?
I never wanted to be like amongst the stars, and I didn't want to be a star. I just wanted to play the guitar, write songs.
Right.
But and I always thought, I always wanted to. When I started LUMS, I had no idea that I would be doing this.
So this
But
was an added bonus.
Yeah, when the song started to spread, and I still don't see myself as a star or anything. I'm still like very
Humble.
I don't know humble is the right word, but very simple in terms of not, a star. If you're talking about stars, I would say the stars are people like Bilal. But I consider myself more in the realm of musician. I'm not saying that I'm a musician, but I see myself more as being a musician as opposed to doing things just for the heck of it, just to gain fame or whatever. If I wanted to gain fame, I would go on Bakar Zakar's show, living on the edge, kiss a cobra or something.
That's true. So tell us something more about your struggling years. How did you like?
I didn't have any struggle.
You didn't. Like even during your recording, did you face stiff competition, stiff
The
resistance from someone?
the only problem that I was facing was that recording songs was a very, very expensive.
Exactly.
It's an expensive activity.
So how did you tackle that?
But just by working, and I started working. I never wanted to ask for money from my parents.
Did you approach any media companies? Did you approach any recording companies?
Because I knew if I did that, and if I asked them for money, they would give in their creative input.
But I've heard that you went to this particular company, which I wouldn't want to name, and they rejected your music at that time. Is that true? It's just a rumor. I just want to confirm that.
Do you know the name?
I don't want to say the name because of copyright infringement. So.
No, I haven't.
It's a huge company. It's a big media company in Pakistan.
I've never approached a company.
You've never. No. So maybe that's just a rumor.
I suppose so.
Okay. And then what happened? Like how was like Bachana? How did you come across? How did people accept you as like a guitarist, as a vocalist? How was like where did that spark come in? When you felt like this is the time, and when people started accepting, like wow.
I never thought that this was the time. I never expected it to be so big. I wanted to record it properly. I just recorded it with the acoustic guitar at my home, and
How did you market it? How did people know?
I just gave it to my friends at Lums, and they started to spread it. So it was never like me trying to be on the music channels or work this guy or work that guy. कि यार तुम मेरी वीडियो चला सकते कर सकते वो कर सकते रेडियो पे चला. It was just happening on its own. But when people started to pick it up, and people like Fasi Zaka, who was one of the first few people to pick up the song and play it on the show, I think that's when it really started to spread. It was never intentional, because the quality, I always feel that the original quality, even though a lot of people say कि उसकी मुझे वो गाना बेहतर लगता है, but I sort of feel कि उसकी quality नहीं कम, because I recorded it at home, and I sort of wanted to make it into a dance song. I've never told this to anyone, but but it started to spread, and I said, okay, if people like it as it is, then why do I need to rework the song? So.
Exactly. So, tell us something about your latest album. I've heard that your latest album, Umeed, is coming out soon. So
Yeah.
what about it? When is it?
It's actually my first album.
How many songs and what all songs?
There are going to be 8 songs.
8 songs?
Yeah.
That's a lot. And could you guys give us like a brief introduction of what inspired you into those songs and what response you're getting from the trailers that you put online?
Yeah, well, I've put out some songs from the album already on the internet, and they're doing pretty good, but I intend to make a lot of videos for them. And the songs are basically, there's sort of sad songs, but there's this hope in them, and that's why the album is called Umeed, because it's sort of an optimistic sadness, that it's sort of accepting ki yes, I am sad, but I see this hope as well. And so I think there's that tinge in all those songs.
But don't you think your songs are very pessimistic in that
I
sense?
wouldn't say
Even
so.
Bachana, like Madura,
It's accepting the reality as it is. And when it says मैं डूब रहा, बचाना, मुझे बचाना, it's not actually, it's looking at the future as opposed to saying कि okay, मैं डूब गया. If I had made it डूब गया, मेरा कुछ नहीं हो सकता. That would have been different.
But were you actually in that phase at that time when you wrote
I would think so, yeah. I mean, all of the lyrics in each song, I would say there's 90% me in them. So that's why, and I was just writing these songs for myself, me, and people just started to relate with it.
So how did you, tell us something about a little about your personal life, since you mentioned that before the talk show, that you told us about your engagement. Tell us something more about that. Is it like in the family, or you got outside, or was it before?
I'm not getting engaged.
You're not?
You wish I was.
I think that's a low blow.
But no, actually there's a
rumor
on Cool Me Zone.
Exactly.
And it's not about me, it's about Atif Aslam. You might want to recheck.
Oh, I don't know, because that's what I heard from a lot of people, that you got engaged, and I wanted to clear that out because people were asking me and they were
I suppose jealous boyfriends is so.
maybe that's true. Anyway, so tell us something about your future plans. Where do you find it? And tell us something about, in fact, before that, tell us something about your first concert. What was your first concert? Where did it happen? And how did you confront so many people, like for the first time, seeing 300, 400, 500, 600 people, and going on stage with so many big stars, and you considering yourself as an underground man with just one song?
Yeah.
So how did you, what was that stage fright like? What was the experience? Tell us something more about that.
I think I was never afraid of the stage because I was always doing debates and stuff when I was in school. But I was, because I needed a sort of confidence of 4 people on stage because I was always solo. I was playing the guitar, singing.
Exactly.
So I need the confidence of the bass player, the guitarist, the drummer, the vocalist, and just to stand on stage. It's a scary thing to just stand there with your guitar and to sing your own song. But it just happened, and in the start, it was sort of, I never thought it was difficult. I always just wanted to be on stage, and I would just do my thing, and I would always think, I'm just going to do my thing and then just get off stage. And I don't really care what people think.
But what was your first concert like?
My first concert
was,
as in the first concert where I sang my own song.
Yeah.
That would have to be in Lums. It was in my last year. But the first proper concert outside Lums was with this organization called Asra. I was opening for Noori, and everybody loved it, and that was sort of a very good confidence boost.
But don't you think it was more like a gamble taking you amongst the big stars at that time. Do you consider yourself lucky? Because going out with Ali Noor,
Yeah.
and where was your major breakthrough? Where do you feel that you found that major breakthrough that you were looking for? And that's because considering where you are right now, you
Yeah.
earned like 55,000 fans and it's
Yeah.
continuously growing. That
Yeah.
is not something normal. You
Yeah.
see some of the established bands lingering around, hovering around 25,000 fans and they're
Yeah.
really happy about it. But you've
Yeah.
got, mashallah, you've got more than 55,000 fans.
But I don't see myself as me having done anything magical apart from writing a good song. If there's something that really differentiates me from them, it's not that I'm working some magic in terms of marketing or doing something special or there was this breakthrough point. It was just a matter of me writing a song that people could relate to more. And so I think that's where the actual thing, I mean, a lot of people keep thinking about कि किस तरह हो रहा है, you know, कि इसने कोई contact लगाया, उसने ये कुछ
Exactly,
किया.
that's what
A lot of
I'm-
people are saying that I have this script on the internet which keeps growing my fans. Whereas, to be honest, the only
No,
thing
that's not true. I don't
the only thing that is working is the song itself.
the song itself. Yes.
Because the song is spreading.
Right.
It's spreading because people can relate to it.
Exactly.
You know.
That's true. That's true. I understand that. So tell us something about your current job right now, because I've heard that you're working in some I think a paint company somewhere, ICI. Is
Yeah.
that true?
Yeah.
So tell us something more about that. Your routine. What do you do, and how do you take time out for your jamming sessions if you do them, and your practice?
It's obviously very tough.
Do you get holidays from there, or how do they relate to you as a star working in
I
their
think they've
organization?
been sort of flexible in those terms because they know that if this isn't my career, then it's definitely a very serious hobby. Even though I wouldn't call it a hobby, I think it's a very serious thing for me. I've worked for the past years every single day on it, and it's something that I take very, very seriously because it's something that it's my way of expressing the things that I feel, and it's a good medium for me. But it's obviously tough with the job, and it's a struggle because you do your job and you come home and you play guitar, and sometimes you just sort of think to yourself that मैं कितनी देर और ये कर सकता हूँ, because it's very like stretching. Even on weekends when you're supposed to relax, you're always doing something.
What exactly do you do at ICI? What exactly is your job description there?
I'm an associate product manager.
So, what do you do there? Like, as a product manager, what
I
are
do
your
marketing.
jobs? You're marketing.
Yeah.
So, why is it that ICI has not sponsored you as such?
ICI is not in consumer products.
Oh, okay. So you don't see them marketing your songs or marketing you as a person, because a lot like Pepsi, you see them marketing, and McDonald's market Korn, the band, and other bands like that. So why don't you think that people invest? Do you think that?
For the time being, I'm not really looking for brands as such. More focused on establishing myself as a serious
Would
artist.
you like to be a brand ambassador of some leading firm?
I would, but it has to like make sense for me. I wouldn't
you-
sell, guy soap or whatever, just for the money.
Exactly. So
Because for me,
so you would want to go for Lux or some other. Like, give an
if
example
I
of
get
what
a
you
chance
like.
to work with
Will you be
Katrina Kaif, then sure, why not? Wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know. But do you think yourself working with Katrina Kaif? At least if got the breakthrough. But do you see yourself there?
It took Aliza for 8 years.
8 years. How many years would you? That's interesting.
Aliza is a good looking guy, I'm not too sure about myself.
Exactly, that's very true.